Hi there, it's Karen at Corrie Papercrafts here, independent Stampin' Up demonstrator in central Scotland. Welcome back to another project, and today it's this one here. It's a box with a sloped top. It's not a new idea, it's not a new concept at all. You'll see a few around, but I made this to my own measurements because I want it to fit a bath bomb to gift to somebody. So although I'm aware of these boxes being around, I've actually worked out my own measurements for this particular box. So I'm using up again some of my old designer series paper. It's not a cardstock box this time, it is made from designer series paper, and this is the Mosaic Mood paper that I've used, but on the top it's kind of old meets new. I've got some of the new Ornate Garden ribbon, and this is the terracotta tile one. It comes in a combination pack, a combo pack, with a reel of Old Olive as well. So those are coming in the new catalogue, but the Ornate Garden suite is the one that was released early, so that is actually available to buy now. And I decorated it on the front of the lid with embellishments from that suite as well, and it's the gilded gems again from the Ornate Garden suite, so those are available now, as is the DSP, but that's retiring in a couple of weeks time. So if you do want the Mosaic Mood paper, then I would be quick. I'm not sure if it's still in stock, but a quick look on the website would let you know. So it measures 2.5 inches by 2.5 inches by 2.5 inches. So it's a fairly decent size, and the lid is integral to the box this time rather than having a separate lid. So I'm going to show you how I made it. It's not particularly difficult. You've just got to remember to cut in the right place when you're making your lid. Ask me how I know that you've got to pay attention to how you're cutting it. So to make this box you'll need a piece of designer series paper which measures 10.5 inches by 8 3/4, and this is a piece of paper from a new DSP pack that's coming in the new catalogue. So this is the World of Good DSP, and if you've seen my unboxing video or box 1 unboxing, then you'll have seen all the sheets of paper in this pack. It is a 12 by 12 pack, and it's just lovely. So it is a specialty DSP, as was this one. You can see the embossing on that if I just tilt it to let you see the light catch it. So I thought if I used an old specialty DSP, then I would use a new specialty DSP to make this box. So we're going to do a bit of scoring, and I do apologise for the lighting and any glare that you get. It's not been a nice day today, and this is also being filmed in the evening, so the light is not great. So you're going to score on the long side, on the 10.5 inch side, at 2.5, 5, 7.5 and 10, and you're going to turn it to the short side and you're going to score at 2.5, 5 and 7.5, and turn it back again to the long side with this narrow strip along the top. So I had turned it that way, so make sure you turn it back so that you've got this 1.5 inch section here along the top. It's not easy to see that score line. It's not a great paper, I guess, for seeing the score lines. And you're going to make 2 score marks only down to this first line, this score line here. So the first mark you're going to make, or the first score you're going to make, is at 3 3/4, only down to that horizontal score line, and then again at 8 3/4, just down to that score line there, and that's all the scoring done. So let's see where you can see this easiest. I'm not very sure. You can probably see the score lines just a little bit better on this side. So this is where I've done those part scores, but we're going to ignore those for now and just fold and burnish on all the score lines otherwise, just making sure that you keep your paper straight as you go. That's if you can find the score lines, of course. Black paper in the evening probably wasn't the best choice, but I did want to use this paper because it's been shouting to me since it arrived a few days ago, and I've been working night shift, so I'm trying to get some crafting in before I go back on to days tomorrow, which is means nothing to you because you don't even know what day I'm filming this on, but it's the day before I go back on to days basically. I'm really struggling to see these score lines. I'm having to feel for them mostly because I don't want to bend my paper in the wrong place. So there we are. So that's the last one. So I'm not sure, maybe you can see the folds on this side, but it might be easier on this side. So as always, when making a bag or a box, the very first thing I'm going to do is, you can see I've got this 1.5 inch section here, and these are all equal, these parts here. This narrow, oh gosh, sticky scissors, this narrow rectangle here, I'm just going to remove that. And I'm going to cut up all of these score lines here, the 2.5 inch sections, because these are the bottom of my box. So I'll just do all the easier cutting first and then show you the slightly more complicated cutting. And it isn't really complicated, it's just a case of remembering to cut it the right way. So here's our 2-part scores here, and what we're going to do is just cut up the middle of both of those to that horizontal score line there. So same again here. Okay, and then what we're going to do is, if I turn these back out of the way just now, it's probably easier for you to see. I'm going to draw, you could be brave with your scissors, but I'm going to draw a pencil mark from this point here, just where I've cut down that score line, to this corner of this square here, and this point here again, that's where we cut down our part score line to the corner here of this square. Don't cut that way, which I'm not going to tell you how many times I did. So just make sure that you get it really accurate, and just draw a faint line like that. And we're just going to cut along that line, but I'd rather draw a line, put a dot in the middle of there so that I can see it. I'm going to draw a line and then just cut along that. Okay, so I'm going to start here and just follow that pencil line up to that corner, oops, there. Okay, and the same on this side, follow that score line, or pencil line rather, up to that corner. Come on scissors, up to that corner there, and I'm stopping right in the corner. Okay, so these bits are now surplus, so I'm going to just cut these away completely and take the score line with me so that I've got a nice straight edge. So that's that one away, and the same again here, just cutting along and just taking that score line off as I go. Don't rush it, just take your time. I'm quiet because I'm concentrating. Okay, so that's that. And that looks like it could do with being snipped off. I'll sort that after. Okay, so what we're left with is this shape here. So this is the tab that's going to join our box together. So I'm just going to notch a little bit here as well. And then these are the tabs that are going to join this part together. This is our lid. So I'm just going to cut along that score line to make that score line there, and the same on this side. I'm just going to cut along the score line to meet that score line there. Okay, do this another wee bit, I think. Alright, so now what's going to happen is these parts are going to come round and I'm going to join my lid together like so, but as you can see these overlap here. So what I'm just going to do is, once I'm happy with where those are, I'm just going to draw a very faint pencil line along there, and the same here. You can stick it together and then draw your pencil line if you prefer. Looks more complicated than it is, but as long as I can see that pencil line, I'm happy enough just to cut that. So I'm not sure if you can see that line, but I can, so I'm just going to cut in a straight line like that on that side, and again bringing this side over, I'm going to cut like that, and then that should be shaped enough to join together with no overhang here. And I'll just check this side as well. I could probably do with taking just an extra little bit off here. If you need to trim it again, that's absolutely fine. Okay. And I'm going to cut a little bit off of here and a little bit off of here as well, so that it's not quite so long. So all we need to do now is just double check that we've got the shape that we want and all the cuts are in the right place, and then we're just going to add some tape. So I'm going to add some tearing tape along this edge here beside the fold, and I'm just going to use my ruler today and tear all my grid paper as well to make sure I've got a nice join. And then I'm going to add a couple of pieces of tape just along here, and insist again on sticking the tape, I see, to my grid paper. So just a couple of pieces like so, and the same again on this side. So piece just beside that fold, and I'll try not to stick it to my grid paper this time. And I'm just trying to keep the slanted edges of my paper and my tape matched up. So that's all we need there. And then on these parts here, this is the bottom of the box, remember, So this is going to come round and join like this. So this is our front panel. So I'm going to add a couple of pieces of tape, given that I'm going to pop a bath bomb in this box. And it is only designer series paper, so I might add 3 pieces of tape to here. So 1, 2 and oops, 3. And again, to save any gaping, I'm going to add some extra pieces of tape as well. So this is the front, these are my 2 sides, and this is the back panel. So I'm going to put a couple of pieces of tape down these sides of the back panel, just to save it gaping if I only put tape on the front, on that front panel. And then I'm just going to decide, I just need to check which way I'm going to put the tape on. So I'm just going to put a bit of tape up the middle of that side panel there, and we're ready to put the box together. So I'm going to fold this in, fold that over, and then I'm going to fold that side in, and then this side, and just catch that in place with that piece of tape, and then bring the back panel over like so, and then lastly the front panel there, like so. And that's the base of my box put together. So I'll just give that a press with my paper folder, and as you can see, when I push the box there's no gaping. If I had just put tape on that front panel there would be gaping here and gaping here, but just adding a few extra bits of tape makes that stop. And then finally just put together the corners of my lid. So I'm going to take off the backing on these pieces of tape here, and bring that edge over so that the straight edge attaches to the folded edge, just like that. And it's easier if I press against something. Just take those pieces off there, and again straight edge of this piece to the folded edge of that piece, and that's our lid put together as well. And I'm just going to give that a little press with my paper folder on both sides to make sure that it's well stuck down, and then that lid just slots over the top, and that's the box made. It's really quite easy once you know how. And then I thought I would tie a different ribbon round this one, and it's this one here, which I didn't realise I didn't even have open yet. It's still new, and this is the Very Vanilla with the gold edge, and this is carrying over into the new catalogue. There are two, there's a Whisper White one with silver edging, and there's the Very Vanilla with the gold edging, which I cannot get into. Come on. It's not for playing at all. Oh my goodness. Right, where's the edge of that ribbon? I think I'm just going to have to grab that edge out and then try and get my scissors underneath after that. There we go. I should be able to just tear that off. Oh my goodness, that was harder work than it should have been. I do apologise. So I just want to bring round enough ribbon to be able to tie that in a double knot on the top of my box. So about there. There we are. And tie it sufficiently tight enough so that it doesn't undo, but without damaging the box, because it is just made from paper. Get it where I want it and just sort that bow a little bit. So trim the ends, and that's my box. Not the best bow I've ever tied, but it'll do for now. And then again, it's a no stamping box. I'm not sure actually if I said this was a simple Sundays project, but it's maybe not. You might be thinking it's not that simple, and I'm thinking that I think I'll use the middle size here and just pop 3 of my champagne rhinestones along the front of the lid like that, and that's my box finished. So it's taken a little bit longer, but it's not particularly complicated, it just takes a bit of time. That bow's just not gonna sit properly at all. I will sort that later. So I hope you enjoyed that. It's not overly difficult, but hopefully you'll have a go. So thanks for watching. I'll see you again very soon. Take care. Bye bye.